to see what we are doing and how far we can get out of the expected, means we have to introduce some other elements that come out of our own bodies. And actually we are born to be dealing with both sides of our brain, and we can find new things in our actions.
So Achilles, just briefly, the bicameral mind is not a function. Was there a time in history when we as animals or higher beings did use both sides equally?
Actually, we use both sides of our brain unintentionally in the past. Because, why? Because we had to solve some security issues. Because we had to, we feel very uncertain about what was happening around nature. Maybe a mammoth would come and attack us or something. So we have to develop new skills. And remember, innovation, the best time for innovation is when there is war. When there is war, there is a great need to find new solutions. This is when people are determined to find solutions. And you are determined to find a solution only when you believe that there is no other solution. So this is when the innovation comes in environment. Comes in practice. So, let me ask you something. When was the last time you experienced something for the first time? For example, on the sun, yesterday you drove a flight plane or something, or you...
Like falling in love? No. Oh, wait.
So, actually, why I'm asking this question? Because I want bring to your awareness that actually we are trapped into an environment, into an unnecessary competition, that we all do the same things more or less, we live the same things, we communicate more or less the same way. This is good enough, it's practical, okay, but will get us bored very fast. When we are bored, we do things that actually works against our bodies. We try to find some chemical process to do that or something. We try to use, maybe if we want to do a bit healthier, we use binaural sound. Do you know binaural sound? The audio drugs. Yes, we can stimulate your both your sides of your brain in a different way that can get you in a different state of mind. So, what keeps us alive in life? When we discover new things, when we have new experiences, of course when we fall in love, and when whatever experience, when ourselves surprise us or somebody else is surprising us. So how can we live better? By blending all this knowledge. Knowledge is there to stimulate the body, because knowledge is not just in here, it's in all the body. So, no matter if you are, let's say, computer science, no matter if you are a journalist or biology or something.
Business. A lot of them are in business econ.
All these things, they try to find solutions. They need solutions. They need to discover things. That's what excites people. So the only way to do that is when you blend, there are different techniques to that. When you blend another state of mind involved in the same process. So we have to learn how to mind shift, so how to make our mind works in a different way with the same experience. And then just give you one example. Let's say somebody studies psychology. He says, how can I explain to people that if they have a big problem, and it's a small problem, but they think it's a big problem, that the only way to solve it out is to stay out of the problem and solve it out. You can involve some physics. You say, okay, this is the levels. Archimedes solved the issue and said that I can have a big level, and I can just, the further away I go from the weight I have to lift it up, the easier it is to lift it up. So what you do? You say, okay, let's say you have a problem. And this problem could be a small problem, but for you it's a big problem. If for you it's a big problem, then it's really a huge problem. How you solve it? You go nearby, you squeeze there, and you say close your eyes, move further on, and then the further up you go away, you feel in your muscles, not because somebody told you. Somebody told you, here's the experience. We are animals that we learn by experience. And we try now to learn in the virtual, or create experience in the virtual way. Because the mind can be easily tricked, because it doesn't distinguish what is real from what is.
So Achilles, like what we're doing here with, like I'm trying to do here with human-computer interface, it's the muscles that tell the mind about leverage.
Yes, and actually that's how technology comes in the game, but it's not about introducing technology in the game. We have to answer again, why? Why we learn this experience? Because the same technique, the same scenario here, you can create another story, another storyboard. Because no matter what discipline you are, you repeat the same story in another discipline, and then you have a different outcome. So a theologist will say another thing about this story. A journalist will say something else. A biologist will say something else. And this is the good thing. It's not about how technology can give us another ability, but how technology can create new knowledge for us. And it's like every day is like we meet new people. No, it's the same technology. That's the only way to find new usage of the same thing. That keeps on going. And believe me, if you stick with technology as another thing, in 2 or 3 years you'll be bored to death. Nothing can surprise us. We know what is a car, we know what is a chair, we know what is internet, we know what is traveling. We know how all the races in the world behave, more or less. Okay, the only surprise you can get is with UFO and stuff like that. We get that one as well. And if it's not there, we invent it. So, I mean, the only way is to really ask. We feel, as humans, we feel good if we feel that we are useful. If we feel that make somebody somewhere feel a little bit different, I am the result for that. So technology is the mean now. We have no other solution but to deal with technology and make technology more human-centric. And this is the technology that make us more human-centric, not the keyboard.
By remembering the complete body, or remembering, like the violinist will probably tell you, my brain's in my fingertips, right?
Yes, but the most important thing is to bring the functionality of the body at its primitive stage and bring it now to the advanced technologies and find new ways to interact. And this is where your generation will have to deal with that. Our generation was like, okay, let's find box that will make new things. This black box or white box, it depends if you see what's inside or if it's transparent, you can see the process. It was changing things. But now it's not enough. We want to see how the body, how our eye, how our thoughts, how our heart interacts with the environment, with the other people. And you know what? You know what's the best thing about it? Because now we have the time-space, we can take the space out. Space is an invented thing on human consciousness, on the brain consciousness. Time is an invented. Time doesn't exist as much as that. We know that time can be bent, it can be disappeared in some cases when going into a black hole, for example. We will have the experience of that. So now it's all in the consciousness of the mind. So interactivity and new technologies that they are not related to traditional ways of interacting like a mouse on a keyboard. This is the new usage you give to your body, and this is the responsibility of yours now. It's how your heart and your mind will utilize this kind of technologies to make things a bit better. And as a conclusion for that, what is culture afterwards? After all, culture is what, how I deal with myself, how I deal with the society, and how I deal with nature who is hosting me. So whatever we do, we have to ask if these three basic colors, with which I can recreate all other colors, if all our actions with technology and with all the interaction that we have now in our lives, if we can answer these questions and you can say, yes, there is a reason for that. So I would say that no matter what discipline you are, there is only one way to proceed. To move into interactivity, new technologies, new sensors, and how we can make this more accessible to people, and the result of this would make our lives a bit easier. So give the body now the chance to re-establish itself, but in a primitive way.
Right. So this is like techno-primitive. This is like accessing because some theories say that the human being hasn't changed in 200,000 years,
Yes.
basically.
Yes.
Well, how do you subscribe to that? We have a fear of snakes and spiders. We feel lusts. We feel fears. We feel jealousies. This is like a caveman mind.
The only difference with the human beings and the animals is that the so-called logic, which is there just to protect us, we started playing with that, we manipulate with logic. So what is real and what is virtual, it's on a borderline, and we can create. For example, if somebody can achieve something because he said, I'm going to do that, and he saw it in his mind that it's there, and he lived it before he has done, he will succeed. Because the body has exactly the same chemical reactions. The animals, they are not like that. The animals, they are really more or less programmed about their actions. They can evaluate exactly what is happening in front of them. They have more or less the same way and the same pattern of reacting each type of animal. The human beings, they don't have this characteristic because the logic evolved, not the body, not the structure so much.
Right.
The mind evolved in such a way that it creates new patterns that no matter if it's real or virtual, it acts as a real event. That's why now you see, for example, if athletes, that they are injured and they have to keep their muscles in good shape, but they should not give any special weight to their bones. You know how they practice? They sit in the chair, then somebody comes and says, okay, close your eyes now, go on the line, get ready, bam, start running. Next to you is this athlete, is very close to you, come run faster. And just with their mind, they have the stimuli on their muscles exactly the same way like in reality. They get the sweat, they get tired, and they have exactly the same things like walking on the real track. So the mind, it's the technology, and all this are what will bring us back to our original state if we follow these three elements in the equation, which is me, we, and the nature. If we have this in mind, we'll have our coordinates to move, and you can take this goal sky high.
Can you, Achilles, take, Eric, what do you need him to calibrate? This is great. Let's get one shot of you with, does he need to hold his hands up?
Hang on. No, you don't actually need to calibrate. You just need to move a little bit closer to the camera.
Closer here. Let's give Achilles a hand here for one. And let's do a proof of concept where then Achilles can turn around and actually look at like the cave paintings he's actually making, right? In real time.
Can you back up a little bit actually?
Yes.
Perfect.
There's a projection on a body. I always like that.
There we go. Perfect. So now you could like move your hands, do whatever you want to do,
Facing that way.
whichever way.
You can. Does he calibrate?
Yeah.
Turn around and look at what you're making, Achilles. He's going to flick into this. Swoop with one hand.
Wait, maybe it can't do the hands backwards. I don't know.
Oh, it's got to read his hands forwards.
Yeah. Hang on, I'll work on it. 1 second.
He's working on it now. Here's a little film of Eric's work on
Just have
that.
to figure out what the numbers are
Gang, any questions
and make it work.
about Achilles? Is I know for young Americans a different animal because you're told from your youngest life, oh, you'll do one of these Brigg-Myers tests, and it said, oh no, you have proclivities in one way or the other, and you're not. How many are left-handed here?
I am.
You're left-handed. Okay. Maybe your left-handedness was trained out of you in first grade. Could have been. So this concept in a late capital society is, oh, you better find the gig you're good at, or else, is sort of curtailing other avenues that we could go down. And now, part of my paraphrasing of Achilles is because these certain mediums are meeting in a one box, we can also meet in a one box, not only with them as an outgrowth of culture and nature, but reuniting the mind and the body to a certain extent.
Yes, because now we have the feedback of
There it's
the mind
happening.
behavior, and we can have it now exposed and analyzed exactly the same way we do it like with the screen.
Will it capture? Can you turn around and look at that image?
Probably.
Move your hands, Achilles.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's give Eric yet another hand. Oh my God. Thanks, Achilles.